This is meant to be a short demonstration. It might get a little long, but this is meant to be a short demonstration on how to use the extension Grackle to check for accessibility in your Google Slides. So the first thing you're going to do is go to Extensions after you have already uploaded the Grackle Slides extension. Launch. You will have over here Grackle Slides appear, and right now it's checking every single slide for accessibility. So whether it be color contrast or pictures or extras or add-ons, it's going to take one of these older presentations of mine, and it's going to basically say no title block is found in any slide. Technically there is one, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to look. Okay, here's my slide, my subject. I can just copy and paste the same thing, and keywords, just paste the same thing and update that. And then I'm going to go to a slide should have a title. These do have titles. This is a title. This is a title. I'm finding with some of these that it's not recognizing them as titles. So just so that you know that, this is a title. Slide 2, it's saying no title, but it's right here. So a lot of times when they say there isn't a title, it's because it isn't at the top or it isn't centered. So just beware of that. Images should have alternate text. There's going to be a bunch of these. So let's go to one in slide 7 just to show you an example. This image right here needs to have text and a text description. Personally, I would probably download this picture, and because I don't really want to find it in my downloads right now, I would download this picture, put it in AI, and ask for a description. And this image right here, tag image or shape. So it's alternate text, and I could just write proof. For now, I mean, honestly, it needs to be much more updated than that. And let's do this one. I was going to say it's probably going to be the flowers that are rolling around because, you know, I like to do extra. So I'm going to alt text that. That was just a right click to alt text that. And I'm going to write spinning blue flower decoration. And then I'm going to go to this one because I know it's going to come up next. Oh, maybe not. Okay, let me do it this way. Oh, it's doing the Pear Deck. So what this is down here is when I used to do Pear Deck, I used to put in here a bunch of, I used to minimize them so that I could have more of my screen for students and needs and things like that. So I would update this as Pear Deck instructions. Update. Now if I was to do a recheck on the images for slide 7, I'm hoping that I caught them all. I know I didn't do that other flower, but maybe it's combined with the other one, so I just have the one that I think now, yeah, the one that I would run through AI to get the description. So just be aware, the more you put into something, the more you're going to need to correct, so to say. So image plus tag, this is another Pear Deck. So I'm going to click on it, alt text, Pear Deck. A lot of you guys don't use Pear Deck. I loved Pear Deck when I was teaching. Pear Deck, description. Description. So, just FYI. And if I was to recheck that, the slide 3 image would go away. Now, this slide right here has this image embedded. So, in order to put any kind of alternate text on that, I would need to go to the slide itself, edit the theme, and then take this picture and put alt text here as colorful powder decoration. Oops. decoration for background. But that's where I'd have to put that. And then this right here I would have to put as angled rectangle white frame decoration. So you can see this has to get very specific, and even going down to this level. So close that. This is named, and you're good to go on that slide. So every single slide needs to make sure that you have this. So image or shape. I don't know which image it's referring to. Could be this one or this one. So let me just do an alt text on this. Spinning orange flower decoration. Okay, so you're getting the point about this. This I'd run through AI, and I'm not sure what other, oh, it's the Pear Deck image that it's showing me here. So it's going to be the Pear Deck, the flower, and this image right here that was from a computer. So, or a screenshot. So those are your images. The really cool thing about this is it tells you when stuff's good to go, but also high color contrast should be used. This is tricky because it'll always assume every background is white. So just FYI, some of these say they're too low, and it could be because it's not seeing that this is on a different color other than white. So you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt here. This is actually probably needing to be changed, this color context right here, because it is on white and it is that color. So this would be something that I would probably be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go look for a different color here, even though it doesn't really match what I'm doing, and see if I can find something maybe a little darker. And change my lines to something a little darker. Even though, in my mind, it's not as pretty, it is what it is. But if I was to rerun this again, this shouldn't come up. Empty trailing lines that can be removed. This is crazy, and you'll be like, really? Okay, so when you have an empty trailing line, it means there's something after a particular line of something that needs to be removed. So you can see right here, this right here that it highlighted, I need to undo that. That's all that is. If you go to another one, there's probably a trailing line behind this, undo it. That's all that trailing lines are. There's something that leads to something else that, you know, you necessarily don't want. So these trailing lines, you can see there's one at the end of this, and here, and some of them are okay. You can see they're green. They're just making sure you know that they're there. So this is just an idea of what you can do with the slides. Again, all your slides are going to be different, or maybe not. But when you recheck them, these numbers that are here should go down. I mean, if they're in red, it's definitely something you should be looking at. But if they're green, like these down here, it's something you should look at, like these here, the contrast, because the high color contrast should be used. In other words, it's not meeting the definitions of the contrast colors that you need to have. So you might want to change those. They're saying this is too light. So again, changing that to something a bit darker and boring in my opinion, but darker, like that. And that'll get rid of that right there. If I recheck it, you will see it's gone. Again, sorry this video is taking up a little bit longer. I'm just trying to give you some details. Yeah, you can see the text box now is gone. So I encourage you to use colors and do what you want with those, but at the same time, it's one of those things where you're going to have to compromise, is the word I want to use. So that when you recheck something, now you have something that works better. Okay, the other part I was going to say about this, it always assumes that you have stuff that is a white background. So if this was a black background and I had this lime green color, that would have been okay. And I can check that via my color contrast analyzer that was shared with you as well. So you can check things outside of this Grackle, but just make sure that anything you're presenting to students is passing all of the checks. So you would have to go through this line by line by line and make sure that everything in here has alternate text and that everything is, good to go. Okie doke. Other thing you can do is you can obviously do that, like close stuff up so you can just kind of see one at a time and work on something one at a time rather than having a big list, and just take each one of these, like my presentation overall passed. My slides, they're saying I don't have titles. I know that I do. Images with alt text, lists that should not be broken apart. This is an example of that. It's saying I should have something here, here, here. And lists shouldn't be broken apart. But in all honesty, this is something that the student would be using and drawing on. So name the property the statement illustrates. They would be either drawing or writing on this. And so I need the space for them to be able to do that. So technically, yes, lists should not be broken apart. Untechnically, for this type of presentation, they will almost need to be. So there you go. I'll shush now. And if you have any questions, please let us know about how to use that on slides.